My mind is so strong. A 9 to 5 job isn't for me.
I have finally booked a trip.
I did it by working towards something.
All of our deaths are coming, whether we like it or not. To some degree, it's comforting to ignore the thought of mortality. I often think of the question, would I want to be immortal? And when I think of this question, most people, they instantly say yes, because they fear death. But I ask myself, would I want to be immortal? Would I want to see the end of humans? Would I want to see my kids grow old and struggle? They say, I would love to live forever. I would do everything and anything in my life. And to that, I completely agree. But in the moment you became immortal, nothing means anything anymore, and nothing happens for a reason. You'll never enjoy that waterfall because you'll always be able to go back. Laying in bed becomes validated because there is always tomorrow. Right there. That is why life is special.
Someday there will be no tomorrow.
Someday you'll have your last memory, your last day, your last sleep, and finally, your last breath. Sometimes when I go down this rabbit hole, it fills my brain with this sensation that I can't replicate thinking about anything else, and I can't really explain it to you, but I can feel it. I can feel the fact that life on Earth is transient. I'm not gonna be here forever. Someday the lights will turn off and I'll be gone. Everything happens for a reason. April 19, 2023. You're training for a Muay Thai fight. Hours and hours of training every single day. Boxing, kickboxing, running, sprinting, weights, sparring. Your foot is fractured. No more Muay Thai fight. 9th of May, 2023.
You decide to apply for the Defence Force, but because of your fractured foot, you get a call.
Your application to the Defence Force has been denied. This is a determination for 2 years. As gut-wrenching as these events were at the time, I've always believed in the philosophy of nothing is inherently good or bad. However, thinking about it makes it so. The premise of the Chinese farmer story is pretty much when anything happens in life, people will tell you it's either good or bad. All you do is reply, maybe not, maybe so. So when the army rejected me and my foot was fractured, people said, that's terrible, I'm sorry for you, but all I could simply do was reply, maybe not. Maybe so. I tried my absolute best to have the mindset of something good is coming. As a boy, I saw the soldiers with guns as heroes, and I saw the fighters in the cage as modern day warriors. That's who I want to be. But in those moments, it just wasn't gonna happen. On days where I was training for the fight, I had no time for anything else. I would wake up at 4:30 a.m, train from 5 to 7 p.m, come home, run 8 kilometers, come back home, sleep for 8 hours, wake up about 4 p.m, go back and train from 5 to 7 p.m, come back home and sleep. I had no time for anything else. So when the fight was off, I had time to be on my phone and look at social media. I come across this guy named David Goggins.
David Goggins race results, but just look at the dates of these races. Just look at the 100 miles and 50 miles back-to-back weekends.
I'm watching this video and I see 100 miles, 50 kilometers, marathons, and it's this whole new world that I'd never seen in my entire life. And in that moment, I thought to myself, well, I can't just sit here with no goal and pity the fact I can't join the army. I can shift my mindset into believing Newton's third law.
For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. There is a reason to why this happened. I finally understood it from that point. The fact that there is something in direct proportion to my foot fracturing. There's something in direct proportion to being denied from the army. I just have to go and find it. But it's there.
10th of May, 2023. I lace up my shoes and I begin to run. I had always had a strong hate for running, but I put myself in the mindset of army and fight camp. Seeing as though they were off the table, I could push myself in this new way, a way that I'd never been exposed to before. I run 10 kilometers and my body is absolutely f***ed. I couldn't move after, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. And in that moment, I knew what I needed to do.
When I got home and sat down, I simply thought to myself, I found it. I found the reason why this happened.
June 7th, 2023. My first marathon. 3 words. Proud, pain and persistence. With a non-union fracture between my 4th and 5th toe, I had been challenged within my first 4 weeks of running to do a marathon. I had no training, no knowledge about hydration or body fatigue. All I knew was 42.2 kilometers.
It took me 6.5 hours, 5.5 hours of actual running, and
fucking did it.
That was so hard.
I think it's important to share the entire story, and at 39 kilometers, I found who I truly was. I was at a set of lights waiting for them to turn green, and I'd never experienced pain or fatigue in this way before.
And I lean over a post and begin to cry.
Honestly, I thought I was done, but there was one singular thought in my mind that allowed me to continue.
I told myself I would do this.
I wiped the tears off and I ran as fast as my body would allow. The feeling I felt when I saw 42.2 kilometers on my watch was unlike anything I'd ever felt before. There was no medal, there was no claps, there was no cheers, just silence and some cars driving by. None of those cars knew what I just did. No one knew except me.
There was a reason that I fractured my foot. There was a reason I got denied from the army. It was so I could have this exponential challenge that doesn't ever finish.
February 26, 2024.
I've done over 5 marathons, 3 ultra marathons, one of those being over 107 kilometers, multiple half marathons, and even a triathlon. But the question always remains, what if?
What if I didn't fracture my foot? How different would my life be? How different would my mindset be? How different would my videos be?
The beauty of life is that you can't split test it. This current existence is the only one that you have. There's very little people that I know that live in a way where they can see the reason in everything and that everything's an opportunity for another event to happen.
Most people have one negative thing happen to them, and that's just the way it is.
There is a lesson in everything, and everything does happen for a reason. There is a scene in the movie Bright where after weeks of suffering and torment, Ward and Jacoby, partners of different races, become brothers.
Every shitty circumstance
And every good circumstance, all of it is out the window and it's put to rest.
There is a reason why Ward had to be put through all of those unspeakable horrors for weeks on end. He was never fond of the orcs, always had a distaste for them, but he never stopped himself from allowing the perspective shift.
To become brothers with someone you so despise.
Everything does happen for a reason, and this movie changed my whole perspective on the matter. The reason isn't always clear in the beginning, but everything has a lesson to it, whether good or bad. Death is the ultimate ground on which everything happens for a reason. Someday there will be no new lessons to learn, no new thoughts to ponder, no new memories with your girlfriend, no reasons. The day you are on your deathbed, you'll ask, did everything happen for a reason?
And it did. It really did. The reason was you being alive. The reason was you got to look out into the sunset and ask, why?
The reason was you got to look up at the stars and ask yourself, what's out there? And every moment you took to reflect on the path that you chose in life and really considering, did everything in my life happen for a reason?
To get to your forever home, knowing that you were the best version of yourself that could have walked this planet. That is why everything happens for a reason. Oh yeah. Look at this email I just got.
As promised, at 1,113 subscribers, I would celebrate, and we're celebrating by dropping Think Free clothing. My first t-shirt brand, and I'm super excited to give it to you guys because I know that it's high quality. Yo! And look, it's all in the details. There is a black version and a white version you can see just here. You can get your own at thinkfree.xyz, and there'll also be a link in the description. So thank you guys, I'm super excited to bring this to you, and as promised, we'd celebrate 1113. I can't wait to see you guys wearing these, and it's gonna be insane. So thank you guys again, I'll see you soon.
I got pipe dreams of crack rocks and stripper poles.
My aura. Subscribe to the Layden.